Good. Evening. Welcome to a new show called The Checkup. It is a weekly or bi-weekly podcast talking about what's happening in Africa and around the world. Just giving a little bit of an update on what's happening around you. Joining me today, my first guest is, the leader of the new school. General, how are you doing?
Hello. Umnando Ubala again.
Again.
Well, you guys don't know that.
Yeah, you guys haven't been behind the scenes. We've been pushing. Obviously, I can't call the show The Checkup and not check up on my guest. So the first thing I wanted to do is check up on you. How have you been? How was your week this week? It's a different week than the last time we spoke about this.
Good, bro. Better than last week. Hopefully this one is the one.
Yeah.
That the people actually do
get to see. Yeah. I'm much worse. I'm
anxious.
Really? For some reason,
anxious.
So am I. Like specifically about this recording. But I'm I'm worse than I was the last time we spoke.
I just hope there's no hiccups.
Yeah.
And everything goes well.
Yeah.
And we finally get this podcast off the ground.
Exactly. Start posting some stuff. But yeah. Now that we've got that out of the way and both of us aren't suicidal or have any deep-rooted issues, we do, but we might discuss them off camera. Let's get straight into the show. Obviously, the first thing we do is talk about just normal stuff. And you and I did this last week. And last week we were boasting, that a friend of ours, Bushiri, had been arrested and people are protesting in the streets.
Yeah.
We gave an in-depth analysis about how he used the same tactics that Trump used in order to get his reporters or his supporters galvanized. And then the man is in Malawi. So we had to obviously reshoot this because the boy is moving quick. When did you find out about this?
Bro, I found out about this yesterday. Today? No, today. When did I text you?
You texted me today about it, yeah.
Yeah, I found out today. Literally, after I found out, I texted you.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
And I'm like, this is strange.
I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it. Like, I refuse. I remember I said to my one friend, no, it's a joke. What's going to happen is I'm going to close my eyes, and when I open them, he'll be back in prison. I close my eyes, and when I open them, he was still in Malawi. And I was like, damn it. Like, it was crazy. My question is, and my big issue was, I have somewhat of an understanding of the bail process. Why you give bail, why you don't give bail. One of the things that you do is the person a flight risk? Which he is. Is the person going to interfere with the investigation? Which he might. And on top of that, can the person threaten the lives of those that they're going to be investigating? Which he possibly could. Those are the catalysts in which someone would be given or not given bail, just so everyone knows. And he still got bail. And here's the worst part. Oscar got bail for R1 million, right? Above R1 million. His bail was 200,000 Rand. How is Bushiri, I bought my daughter a Maserati, getting bail for 200,000 Rand, or even getting bail in the first place? I don't know. Like, I'm so confused by this.
But let's look at it this way, man. Oscar killed somebody.
Yes.
In cold blood.
Yes.
And Bushiri, he just exploited people's mental vulnerability.
Just took people's life savings and used them to create cartoon characters in his church. Nothing too bad. Look,
can I say something weird?
Yes, you're gonna, so say it.
Is it odd of me if I say I feel like personally, Bushiri didn't do anything wrong?
Okay, it is very odd. You'd have to explain that, and that's most of the segments.
The reason I say that is because, firstly, what did he do wrong?
I think he's down for money laundering.
Okay, money laundering
is a crime. So
okay, that's a crime.
Yeah.
But for what the public think that he should be punished for.
Oh no, that's not a crime.
Yeah,
manipulating people do that all the time.
To give you money.
No, people do that all the time. If you believe them.
I mean, if I stand on the road and I say, give me money, and you choose to give me money.
And you lie and say you've got a magic pill. Look, obviously there are checks and balances. You want to make sure that, like you can't be Herbix. Was it Herbix? You can't be those guys and say you can do something you can't do. That's messed up. But in Bushiri's case, I don't know if telling people that you're magic and them believing them is your fault as much as it is their fault. So in that instance, yeah, I think you might be right. He might have done anything wrong, but he did allegedly launder money. And on top of that, the whole issue with bail and the reason why the amounts are so high is they want to give you an amount that they know you can't live without. Usually your bail amount comes back to you. So it isn't like you're paying the state money. It's we're going to hold this money until Uboy. Yeah. So the money needs to sting. The amount that you're going to be issued bail needs to stink. It isn't about the crime. It's about the wealth of the person, the prominence of the person. Many people murder people. Some people have killed 3 people. They don't get R1 million worth of bail.
Yeah.
Oscar got it because R1 million is how much he's going to need to affect him to come back. So giving Bushiri 200,000 rand, that is petrol money. That is Albany bread money. And they just dropped that on his shoulder.
Remember his sermon when he was saying he's got good news for the church.
Yes.
He's managed to raise 500 million rand.
Which is great. Like,
and he said, but there's only one problem.
What is the problem?
The problem was the 500 million was in the people's pockets.
Oh, he did that? Y'all respect that. That's kind of dope. I like that. I'm not even mad at that.
Dog.
That's dope.
Man.
But yeah, you see, look,
Man is a genius.
he is a bit of a genius. I won't lie. Look, it's not hard to manipulate people's most vulnerable space. And people's most vulnerable spaces are politics and religion. Yeah. So kind of walking into a space where Abantu are kind of like intellectually vulnerable, if we're being honest about how people believe, and then using that gap in their intellectual vulnerability to kind of insert your version of real life events. I don't know if that's smart as much as it is like manipulistic. You wouldn't think someone is smart from taking candy from a baby. And when you go to people in church and lie to them and say you can make people float. And
babies,
look, but when it comes to
grown mothers and
I know, but it's this blind side that we have. It's a blind side. It's just this thing where if you're using your brain, people go, well, that's not faith. And then so might as well leave parts of that at the door. But the moment you do that, you're vulnerable to dudes rocking up on some like, yeah, no, I can float. That was me floating. It wasn't my bodyguard clearly holding me up. Have you seen that video?
No.
This is great. Please go on YouTube and find this video. This is why this man is Bushiri. Yeah. So what happens is he's got one of his boys. He first walks down the stairs. It's a wide panning shot.
Yeah.
As he gets to the bottom, like one of his boys clearly rocks up from behind him and like picks him up, and he makes it look like he's floating. And as they put him down, this grown man runs and ducks in the corner, and you like see him disappearing for a second, and Bushiri's like, I just floated. And his supporters are like, now how is that fake? And you're just like, what?
The man is a genius.
He's
I told you.
yeah.
You can't beat that.
There's better ways of pretending to fly, but I guess.
How do you convince adults to give you their hard work money? Hard-earned money.
By telling them that they'll get that money back in return. 3 times fold. You call it a seed. And if you give me this, I'll grow that seed. And that seed will go from 1 rand to 3 rand.
I went
somehow.
August.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. July.
September. Oh, yes.
It's going to be a great year. I mean, the boy's back home in Malawi with Matt Stacks. Maybe it's been a great year for him. He didn't say for who. That's our problem. We don't listen. Black people don't listen. He didn't say who it's going to be a great year for.
But can I tell you something?
Yeah.
The man hinted to us that he was going to skip the cut.
Yeah, you heard that video of him talking about it?
No. There's a video where it was
a smart man runs.
No. There was a huge subliminal video after he posted for Babe.
Yeah.
He posted a video of him in front of some monitors.
Yeah.
With Mendoza's song playing in the background.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
and everyone was like, okay, I don't know what that's about. That's a little bit random. Malawi. Next day, he's just gone. And we were like, oh, I didn't know he was going to leave.
You saw what was happening on social media? People started posting pictures of people, like prominent people.
Yeah. With him.
With him.
Yeah, I saw pictures of our former president Zuma with him, Julius with him, a bunch of really prominent people who care about the people and their well-being, taking pictures with this guy. It was so heartbreaking. But then again, that then begs the question, how did he get to Malawi? How does a man who's meant to be arrested, who all eyes are on him, just get to Malawi? Do you know how many people are looking for me? This many. And I can't get to Malawi. I can't even get to Zim unless I walk. I can't even get to Swaziland. And still this man managed to get to Malawi, and the whole country had its eye on him. We were all babysitting this man. And we all passed out on the couch during the job. And he's just in Malawi now. So yeah, look, they could having the time of his life. Look, he's given himself into the police.
Has he?
He says he has. They say he has. He's going to be extradited, hopefully back into the...
What's your take on that?
I don't know why a man would skip a country to then give himself up almost immediately. So I'm insanely suspicious. The fact that he got away in the first place, unless the nigga swam to Malawi, is insanely suspicious. So I'm not sure we're gonna get him back. I'm hoping we do.
I say if he did skip the country, I said if he did, he would have had to pay somebody.
Yeah.
That's the only way I see him leaving. At least I know our borders are fucked up, but they're not that fucked up.
Don't you know?
To at least bribe somebody.
Don't you know Bushiri is like a world-class swimmer? He doesn't need to bribe. He just swim across the ocean. He can almost walk on water. He's this close to being Jesus. Don't you know that?
Oh.
Yeah, he's got powers you couldn't imagine. See, your problem, General, is you're using your mind, your normal human mind and abilities. This man floated. A man who can float in his living room can get to Malawi. Yeah, that's your problem.
I remember we talking about the major one.
Exactly.
It's not called the major one for nothing.
He probably instant transmission. He's Goku. This man is Goku. He's a Super Saiyan. That's how he managed to get to Malawi. He just went, bah, and he just rocked up. And you're trying to figure out what passport he used, what airlines for the major one. Nah, fam. We don't use airlines over here. But anyway.
Hey, Bushiri supporters, please don't come after us.
And if you do, it's fine, I guess. I good luck. I want the best for you.
But hey, you know what happens? Wherever somebody vacates a position of power,
there is a power vacuum
that's created.
Yeah.
So I'm just keen to see who's next to fill up those shoes.
Yeah,
let's hope. What I mean?
Yeah. Let's hope it's someone who won't do what he did. But let's be honest, it's gonna be probably one of his cousins or an uncle or his wife or whomever. It could be his little daughter who's got the Maserati at the age of like 3 years old already. I don't know, but
I bet some couch strategist is sitting there,
is trying to figure out how I'm gonna get in there and make this happen. Well, good luck to whoever you are, and congratulations on the new church. But anyway, moving on. Next thing I wanted to talk to you about, obviously this is quickie news. We spoke about this a little bit last time. I keep wanting to touch on it, and that's the AKA and Cass fights. I know I've spoken about it before. Yeah. We've gone through this multiple times. AKA's fans bullied Casper. They cyberbullied him. He got mad. He said, well, me and homie are going to fight. They still do. Me and homie are going to fight. And he said he's going to knock him out. I don't know if it's going to end up in a knockout. I think it's just going to be a lot of like heavy breathing and hugging each other. It's going to look like an EDM party full of ecstasy. But what do you think is going to happen? I know what you think. I just want the people to know what you think.
I think it's a bad decision for one of them.
Oh, okay. This is different. Yeah. Why a bad decision?
Because both of them, they're such braggadocious people.
Yeah. That whoever loses has to move to Malawi
when your arch rival
beats you,
just knocked you out.
That's true.
Or
That's
you're
true.
Walking around with a blue eye. Well, you can say, nah, but I got paid. Well, yeah, but you still got your ass kicked.
Yeah, exactly. By the dude who you said you're right. It's not a good look.
So you can't even talk shit about this guy. Even if in your rhymes, you could put in the most
you're right.
funniest rhyme or whatever.
All we're gonna think is Bakshire win. Bakshire win. That's true. Well, look, I think it's a good idea, only because I like watching people who think too much of themselves hit each other. It's just one of my favorite things. And I obviously support Cass. Cass thinks of himself a lot less than AKA does. I think he's got the strength on his side. He's got big legs. He's got the height. He's short, and for some reason that helps with heavyweight boxing. And AKA might be tall. He might have punched some bags and seemed dope, but the bags didn't punch back. So I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see what's gonna happen. But I'm going Casper on this one, and you're going double knockouts?
No. Yeah,
double knockouts.
What I'm saying is somebody is gonna be walking around with some bruised face,
and we're gonna be walking around smiling because it's gonna be fun, no matter who you are.
Because I mean, stepping into a boxing ring, yeah, you can make the money, but yeah.
It's not your arena.
You know,
it's not your home.
Imagine Cairo.
Yeah.
School when she's in grade 5.
And
she gets into an altercation with some kid.
Yeah.
And she's gonna say,
Okala.
I got smacked by Casper.
Your dad got smacked by a dude who was like half his height. I'm showing him Vosho as he went for the left hook. What's Vosho? Got up, punch out.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Casper's kid You know,
Yo, it's actually not a good look. You're right. It's not a good idea. Guys, don't do this. I'm thinking about this now.
You know why I say it's not? Because that's not their thing.
It's not their thing.
It's not like you can sign up and go fight somebody else and win that fight.
Yeah.
It's just one.
It's just
fight.
one chance to do something.
One time.
One opportunity.
If I was gonna do that in private.
Yeah, I wouldn't let people
record it in private.
Exactly. Have it for each other. So that if the one guy talks, you'll be like, yeah, I will release this tape, fam. I will release the tape, fam. No,
Keep
but
your
yeah.
name out of my,
Otherwise, people are going to watch you getting dropped, homie. But yeah, that's the crux of it. And now moving on to next segment. It's called fake news. On this segment, we're going to spend a bit of time debunking obvious fake news. There's quite a lot of it. And on this week, we're talking about Ginimbi. Apparently, Ginimbi, the Zimbabwean socialite genius, as some people have called him. I wouldn't use words like that, but anyway, who passed away about a week ago, 2 weeks ago in a car accident. There are rumors, even being spread by Uzoto, of all people, that he, which is, I mean, all is the best source for news. Thank you, Zoto. But anyway, she's great. But and they were spreading this idea that this man bought his casket like a week before he died. So like on some premonition. Because I mean, look, the way he died, which to me is normal. Rich guy speeds in a car, hits another car, usually ends in death. But people don't like it when celebrities die. They need like someone else to blame.
Was he a celeb?
Yeah, he was big on Instagram.
I didn't know him.
Yeah, no, I think it's because it doesn't do anything for you to know him. Like you wouldn't be in the space of getting.
What does he do?
He spends money professionally. I don't know what he does. Like it's a mystery how he got his money. He says he works in finance and in technologies, which I don't know what. Maybe he owns a bit of Facebook because he seems to be so damn rich. But he passed away very rich. Drove off in what I'm assuming was his Rolls Royce. There was a video of one of the girls who died in the car crash with him, who took a picture of the speedometer going at like 300 kilometers per hour. And then usually, if you know how gravity works, if you hit something at that speed, you die. So he went, he was no longer there. He was no more. But people started pushing the idea of how he died and why he died to a bunch of things, right? He owed money to people. He was in it with some wrong people. Reptiles without arms and legs were mentioned. I'm not going to say what the reptiles are. And yeah, exactly. And so that went around for quite some time. And now they're saying homie ordered his casket about a week before. The sad thing about this news is it was debunked in 45 seconds. If you just did a back check on the image, because it's an image of a casket with a guitar, you find that image was posted in 2019 by an Australian journalist company talking about strangely built caskets, and a year before the man died. So someone just took the image of a really weird casket and his image, spliced it together, and obviously they're trying to keep the narrative going that his death was a bit weird and premeditated, and they were just like, bang, look, evidence. And because people already had the appetite for wanting to believe that there's no way a man can smash a car at 300 kilometers per hour and die, that's not how death works, they just believed it.
It amazes me how we, the South African public, we just suckers for weird shit.
It's confirmation bias, dog. At the end of the day, I already believe this thing, so any new information that comes, I'm gonna take it and just try to mush it in this predetermined belief. Yeah. I'm not gonna see anything differently. Like it has to be this thing I already believed in before, right? Otherwise, I can't cope with it, and then we just go predetermined destination. He's dead. He's rich. Rich guys don't get rich without having these things. This thing killed him. Bang. And then that's how you end up having people believing in rumors about caskets being ordered about a week in advance. I mean, it's weird.
No, you know what? I always say this.
Yeah.
One day I'm gonna have a lot of money.
Yes.
So therefore, I don't entertain stories when a guy has money and all of a sudden he has a snake and he's doing it.
Sounds like a guy who's got a snake. I'm just saying.
Like one day maybe you don't look at that. Could be me.
I'm just saying, in general, you sound like a guy that has a snake.
If you don't know where I make my money, just ask me. Don't.
Yeah, I saw some dudes.
Don't go around saying.
I was at a House of Curries. It's a cool spot in Durban. They were having a full conversation about how Vusembe guy's got money. Yeah, but what does he do? Where did his money come from? You just think guys like that get money? He's in private equities and he gives motivational speeches to get $80,000 a speech, and also has My Growth Fund where they buy shares in corporations and grow them to sell them off. That's where his money comes from. But people just going, well, I don't know where it comes from, so therefore it must be from this again. Predestined conclusion, just to make them feel better about not knowing where people get their money from. I'm not saying this isn't real. I kind of am. But at the same vein, I'm just like, in this instance, in this one, that casket is not his casket or casket,
Bro,
or whatever you want to pronounce it.
I saw another video.
Yeah.
This guy was showing some tricks.
Yeah.
He takes an empty box, splashes a little bit of some muti,
Yeah.
and
Some of that good stuff.
says some stupid shit.
Yeah.
1 2 1 2, picks up the box, covers it with some black blanket,
Yeah.
takes it away, picks up the box, spins around. Now, because I've seen videos being shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know about slowing things down.
Yeah.
Paying attention to the most important
angles. Yeah.
on the shot. Now look at this guy. The guy flips the box as it's spinning.
Mm.
He picks up the box and it spins around.
And he flips it while everyone's got his back to him. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he comes back, then he puts it down, and then he opens it, and then there's a wad of cash and a snake.
Yeah. It's a dope trick. Have you ever seen the magic trick done by a magician where he made the golden, I think it was the London Bridge disappear? He made the London Bridge disappear and all he used was mirrors. But the man is like, I'm a magician, this is fake. The day I saw that, the day a man showed me a bridge disappear, is when I said, hey man, I'm not smart enough to know how people do tricks. Like, these people are strong out here. Dude, people have powers. They can, magic tricks are crazy.
If you can exploit people's ability to view things,
Yeah.
you can get away with a lot.
And some guys are getting away with a lot.
Yeah, the Bushiris.
Oh, Archer in Malawi. Again, hope you're having fun.
About those guys, by shy blind spot.
Blind spot killers.
Yeah.
They just enter blind spots like you can never believe.
And you're like, this is so real. This is it.
It must be real. I thought about it before I even saw it. It must be real. And then you end up getting duped and end up believing in a bunch of weird stuff, and then you end up being broke, and the guy that you think is powerful ends up with all your money, which is how they do it all the time.
I'll show you this. Do you know why people like Bushiri would always succeed?
Why?
And just test it. If there's a guy out there, go open up a church and you get people to donate money to you as a pastor of the church.
Tax free, by the way.
Millions.
Tax free, but yeah, continue.
So I'm thinking to myself, I mean, this is not the first and last time this is happening.
Yeah, it's not.
It's in our DNA. It's
Yeah.
in our history.
Well, it's a blind spot. That's why I'm calling it a blind spot.
The reason white people own majority of South Africa's economy.
They blind spot
Only
us.
because of our blind spot.
We have a blind spot. we have a Harry Potter like sorcery sized blind spot. We're easily we're dupable. We're just dupable people. And it's sad that it was so easy to dupe.
It's just look at pyramid schemes.
Yeah.
We
How many
love
times
pyramid
are
schemes.
black people if Triple M came back tomorrow, people would still jump on
They'll
Triple
be
M
on it.
tomorrow. How many Bitcoin scandals and scams have they been?
WhatsApp gifting groups.
How many of those have come and gone? How many times are we going to lose money believing people that say they've got things that they don't have before we go, what's wrong with me? I have a problem. Why am I always the one getting scammed all the time? I'm the one always in these pyramid schemes thinking I'm going to get there early. It's just what we do. We just get duped. We get duped and drink. That's our thing.
It's this mentality of get rich quick.
Exactly.
If we could just forget that, you'll see.
We should be fine.
You'll be less duped because these people come and see, oh, these people are poor. So let's exploit their poorness.
Yeah. They're dupable in their popoverty.
Yeah, I'll feed you dreams. You'll make money. You'll get that promotion at work.
Yeah,
You'll get
yeah.
that job.
And then when you get that job, they go, it's me. I did it. Look, it's me. And then when you don't get the job, this damn economy. This damn economy. Unemployment is low. What's the government doing about it? And the moment the job comes, thank you, Major One. It's you. It's like, what? 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 But anyway, moving on before we get into too much trouble talking about this. The next topic we're going to be talking about is this one is going to be a big one. This is the topic before the main topic, and it's called the Breckenfel High School scandal that took place this week. We're going to try to go quickly. We spent a bit too much time on the first two anyway. So what happened in Breckenfel, or at least from what I understand, is there was a function. They called it a matric dance, also, which came out to not be accurate. It was kind of fake news. And they said that white students were invited to, first off, there was a function at the school, And only white students were invited to the function. It was like a matric dance and a matric farewell, and black students weren't involved. Now, unfortunately, that's not what happened. What actually came out was it was at a private vineyard. And in that private vineyard, out of 264 matriculants, 42 were invited. In that 42, the school majority being white, there were no African kids invited to the function. Now, the parents of these kids were upset that none of their children were invited. I kind of get the insecurity with taking your kid to that school. Already, you kind of feel some type of way. You kind of look out for racism because, you know, it's a mainly all Afrikaans school in a country where 80% of the people are black. So you're kind of like, how'd you guys get this right? And they haven't had a black teacher in that school come through since like 1994. So like the moment we got free, they're like, fine, we'll let one in. And then they just closed the door right after that, it seems. But the parents went to members of the EFF, according to the EFF, contacted them. EFF rocks up. They're out here protesting at the school towards the students on a day that they're writing finals. And as you can imagine, parents weren't trying to hear that noise. They were waiting for the EFF outside. Parents. Parents, yeah, right. Some of them know now not to have been parents. Hands were exchanged. EFF collected quite a bunch of them. The majority of hands were collected by the EFF. It was like a communion, the way they were just collecting hands. And yeah, unfortunately, it ended up being just a massacre and a major ass whipping. And I don't know how I feel. I am conflicted. You tell me at least what you're thinking. At least you start this off.
I'll be short and sweet.
Sure.
I said this earlier to you.
Mm-hmm.
If I am now to stand up here and decide to go to a toilet in another community.
Yeah.
Number one, I have to expect some shit.
Yeah.
Or smell of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Or to see some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe somebody peed on the floor. Or somebody will come in and pee on the floor. Or
Yeah.
somebody will come in while I'm peeing and take a shit.
It's not going to smell like McDonald's in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, it's no secret that in South Africa, a certain population of the white community, they still believe in the
Segregation.
ancient ways.
Yeah. Segregation
say,
among students.
Which
yeah.
means we are racist.
Yeah.
Therefore, I do not recognize anyone of a different skin tone.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm racist.
Yeah.
Even though they wouldn't admit it.
Yeah, they wouldn't call it
That's
that.
what you are.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't feel bad about you being you.
We cannot
Back and forth
know,
about this. Yeah. We have a lot. We have quite a.
mince our words on that.
Yeah.
So, if I then, as a parent, take my kid to an environment full of those people,
Mm-hmm.
the one thing that I should be anticipating
Is the smell of shit.
exactly.
You need to know that there are
need to
going to come
know
instances, yeah, where
There will be times when there will be racism.
yeah, that is true.
So, we've been brainwashed so much to think that white is better.
Mhm.
So hence, in order to give our kids good education,
Send them to white schools, yeah, yeah.
Okay, fine, you're right. But then don't complain when your child experiences
Starts to go through some
racism.
crazy racism in that school.
Because that's how people are.
Mm.
You know, just because it's a public school doesn't mean the people there won't be racist. Or
Exactly.
some of the people
Okay.
there
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
won't be racist.
Mm.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Now, there's no need for us to fight and beat each other up. That's
Mhm.
not going to elevate me as a black man. It's not going to elevate you. In fact, it's just going to make things worse.
Yeah.
Our forefathers have been going up against this thing. We've been going up tired.
You sound tired, bro.
I'm tired.
You sound exhausted.
I'm exhausted. Let's focus on making black cool. Why
Yeah.
don't we make cool black schools?
Mhm.
We can't do that.
Yeah.
It's up to us to decide that.
It's like, I don't know, complaining about a party that you know you're not welcome to.
Yeah.
Like low key, you know you're not welcome at that party, and you're like, oh, I thought these guys were gonna be cool with me. It's
They're
like,
not even talking to me when I'm there.
And it's like, yeah, but you weren't invited, bro. Like you came through, and we couldn't say no because it's an open function. So I hear what you're saying. My take on it though is, and this is why I'm confused, is threefold. One, you're right. These things happen in these schools, but they shouldn't be happening if they happened. And two, when there's 264 students in the school and only 42 get invited, it means that this wasn't a whites-only event. It just means only white people happened to be invited in this private event. Right? It isn't like a slapdash. We didn't want niggas in the building situation.
Event.
Yeah, it's private event at a vineyard.
Official school.
No, the school was not involved. And now what you're doing when you kind of tell people that, hey, listen, fam, why aren't there black people at this function, is then telling every single person in the country that all of their private functions have to like meet a quota system. I get it. The intention is pure. It's a good idea, and it's coming from a place of wanting change. But if I have a braai, I don't want someone to tell me, you got 10 black guys, they need 2 white people. They gotta have 2 white people, bro. It's looking bad, bro. Where are the white? Where are the Indians? Where are the coloreds? Where are all the people that represent this country? I get it. It's a really bad look, but looking at the numbers, you can't tell me that this was a racist move when most of the white students weren't even invited to this thing anyway. Only 42 out of 264 in an Afrikaans school. Guess who are the most people that didn't go to that party? White students. White students made up the majority of the people that stayed at home on that night.
True.
Because about 200 of the students that are there are probably going to be white. So if most of the people at home are white and all of the black students happen to be at school, to make it seem like, no, they didn't want black kids there would only be proved by them having all the white kids there. And that's not what happened. And that makes me feel kind of weird. Like, okay, I get what you're going for, but I'm tired of having to constantly talk about, again, this party. This is the 3rd time now where something's gone south. Things have gone wrong. Things have not really went the right way in this country, whether it be with H&M, I think it was Clicks the other time, and now with the school, and the other instances too. And every single time, without fail, when this thing happens, 2 days after the incidents, we're talking about a specific party, not the incident. Every time. Every single time H&M stuff happened, everyone talked about the vandalism committed by this particular party. A Click situation went down. Spoke about the disgusting hair ad demeaning black women's hair. A couple of days later, talking about the arson committed by members of that specific party. And now this time again, there's an allegation, which the president specifically said we must investigate because, you know, usually you want to make sure you know what you're doing before you do it. And once again, instead of talking about the incident and the school and its history, what are we talking about? The party. How many more times?
The party.
How many more times are dudes going to insert themselves in a situation that doesn't need them before we go, guys, there are other ways of dealing with this instead of making it an opportunity for you guys to look like the saviors. No one needs saving. It was probably a boring party anyway. I don't think there was Hennessy at the party. Black people aren't going there anyway. So I genuinely don't know what to do with these guys anymore. I'm just tired of always knowing that something racial happened and knowing they're going to be right there 5 seconds later. And in the moment they get there, they're not going to protest in a way that's going to make everyone feel comfortable. We're going to be talking about the way that they protested 3 minutes later.
But
who does that help?
You know what the commander-in-chief is going to say?
Who?
He's going to say, wherever there's racism, the EFF
we will be there.
will be there to nip it in the bud.
Yeah, you're right. And this time you got nip in the bud. And I like that's what you're going for, but for that to be your priority, and then also have pictures of you sitting really, really comfortable with the Bushiri. Your priority is my guy.
Bro,
your priority is my guy.
Can I tell you something?
Oh, yeah.
When the day I stopped trusting Julius Malema, this is me, just personally, just my thinking. I watched Julius Malema campaign for Jacob Zuma.
Oh yeah.
And during that time, I think Musua Lekota decided to leave the ANC and go start his own party.
Yeah.
Julius Malema, there's a clip, you can go Google it, check out YouTube. While you're at it, just subscribe, right? Chef?
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah, hit the like button while you're at it.
We know where you stay. I'm joking.
Julius Malema, we'll come and get you. He said, I will never leave the ANC and start my own organization that will rival the ANC.
Yeah. Those words that came out of his mouth. And then the moment he got kicked out.
The day he started the EFF, lost me.
Yeah, because he did the thing that he said he wouldn't do. Well, look, again, granted, this is why I'm confused. You say you're doing the right thing, but are your intentions pure? I always say a truth told with bad intention is worse than any lie. Because if you use the truth the right way, you can get good people to do horrible things based on the idea that what they're doing is the right thing because it's based in truth. And you might be fighting something like racism in an instance where we haven't investigated that that's what was happening maliciously. But the way in which you fight it, that's what's important. If you have insects and termites in your house. You know what's the one thing you shouldn't do? Burn the house down. You don't burn your house down and go, well, there's ants here, dude. Because everyone goes, yeah, but maybe the way you went about it is the wrong way to go about it. And in this instance, I'm watching a bunch of dudes once again burn down the house.
True.
When in fact they just have an infestation and they can just knock that through and not have this be an issue. But yeah, that's just me on this topic. I don't want to go on too much about it. We'll see how this thing culminates. They're going to come back and protest again. I think on Friday they're going to be back in the streets. Hopefully this thing kind of sorts itself out. Just make sure you have all the information you need. The media was really bad on this.
I'm just here for the action.
Yeah,
Whatever
same.
happens,
Same.
happens.
If hands get thrown, if people get dropped, I don't know, duck, look after yourself, duck and roll, tackle, choke people out, whatever you need to do to defend yourself.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, if you're a protester and you put your hands on these citizens who are protesting and you beat them up, I'm talking about the parents now, you're disgusting. Yeah. That's violence. That's an assault. If you're an EFF member and you think beating someone up because they say something that you don't like, that's assault. I don't care who's committing the assault. Words cannot be responded to by violence. This is not how we work.
If you're a parent, what are you teaching your child?
Yeah.
That if somebody does something that you don't agree
You
with,
punch them square in the face.
I don't think that's a good look.
It's not a good look. It's not a good lesson. It's not the way that we fix this country. And besides, if you want to play that game, you can play that game, but you lose that game. So be careful playing that game and just, be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, be better. Anyway, before we leave you, now I have to do this thing where I stare at the camera, hope the camera's on, and I talk about something that happened a while ago that we're going to talk about again as though it's new. Last week, or at least on the 3rd of November, the country celebrated its win of the 2019 Rugby World Cup. It was a great win. It was a great day. We won with a larger margin than we ever won in this country. Yeah. We actually scored tries in this final that, we don't usually score tries in a final. And everyone spoke about what a great moment this was, what they learned from the situation. They spoke about one thing, the country coming together to win. That was the lesson. But that isn't the real lesson that I learned from this. What I found out was that when people in a situation where they want change actually work with the governing body and those trying to implement change, racial change, when they play ball, we win more. Let's not forget that this team, looking as black as it was, wasn't because someone just decided it's time to make a change. It was forced upon those who were in charge. There was a quota system. And for years, black people had to endure the conversation of, well, umuntu must be chosen based on merit and not on race. For years, that's the conversation, as though having more black players meant that they were there because of their race and not merit, which is, again, a great thing to say about someone because, of their skin color. But then what happened? The moment we did that, the moment we actually had someone, an ally, Rassi, who came in and said, let me not take this opportunity of transformation as a hindrance, but as a chance to really make change, look at what happened. 30-12. The largest margin we've ever had in a World Cup final. We score tries that we don't usually score in a World Cup final. And the country is moving forward. Every single person who watched that World Cup and enjoyed that World Cup and really felt pride of that win has an opportunity to do the same thing. Your company might have something that speaks to involving most of the people in the country in what you're doing, having more black people in real prominent positions of power and even in those offices. And you fight those back because, again, you want to hire people based on merit, not on race. You're doing the exact same thing that you did at the beginning. Be a Rassi. Don't be a chop. Be what we need, not what you want us to be. The problem with systemic racism is people make the mistake of assuming that it's inherent. No one is saying that you don't want to hire black people. No one is saying that you have something against us. What we're saying is your hiring practices are very, 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 very much based on favoritism. You're my best friend's son. You look like my nephew. You look like my daughter. I like you. We could play golf together. You and I have certain things in common. Well, guess what? This skin pigmentation, my color.
We agree on Bushiri.
I'm not your kid. I don't look like your nephew. I do not look like your son. And I don't look like you and I could have a good time playing golf together. So we might need more than just how you feel about me to let me through the door. Please, understand something about the Rugby World Cup. Specifically, understand something about Kolisi. Barack Obama was the 44th US president. 44th. Kolisi was the 45th Springbok captain. You have a much harder chance being the first black Springbok captain in South Africa than being the first black president of the United States. That is unacceptable. That is not how a country goes about creating change. And if you want to learn something from the situation, is that when people try to give you a chance to open the door to the majority of the market, to the majority of the people, to the majority of how the sentiment of the country feels, fighting it means fighting progress and fighting yourself. See you guys next week.